Hey, Brook Scholars, welcome back to Remote Learning with me, Mr. Scott. Happy Wednesday, my friends. Look what I have been able to figure out. I've been able to get this on the screen, and you can see me, and you can see the reading that we're going to do. I'm really excited about this. And look, there's a little, little flashlight on here, spotlight. That's kind of cool as well. Okay, so we're going to continue the work that we've been doing in thinking about our evidence. Hopefully, I can figure out a way to actually underline my evidence here. That would be kind of cool as well. Let's dive right in. June was always telling stories. You know what? June, I don't think they're talking about the month. I think that is the name of a person, and I'm guessing this is going to be a fiction text. So let's be thinking about characters, problem, and solution if there are any. Here we go. June was always telling stories. She talked about her family. They went on a lot of adventures. Her family loved her stories. Sometimes she would exaggerate. Big word, exaggerate. It didn't happen quite like that, her mom said. Where do your stories come from? I have a wild imagination, June would say. Ooh, okay. Let's read it one more time. June was always telling stories. She talked about her family. They went on a lot of adventures. Her family loved her stories. Sometimes she would exaggerate. It didn't happen quite like that, her mom said. Where do your stories come from? I have a wild imagination, June would say. Okay, so we've got June. She's a girl. She lives with her family, and she is telling stories. But then the stories that she's telling about her family tend to kind of get a little bit exaggerated. Exaggerate, of course, a word that means you're telling things a little bit bigger, a little bit more detailed than they actually were. All right. Let's see what the questions say, shall we? Which title best fits this text? Is it June's family, exaggerated stories, imaginations, or storytelling? Go ahead, mark your answer. What do you think? Well, the correct answer is B, exaggerated stories. We know that the word stories would be a great fit for the title of this particular text. Because if you look over here, look at this. June was always telling stories. They went on, the family loved her stories. And where do your stories come from? So, stories is definitely going to be an important part of it. But let's not forget that the real issue, if you will, here is that they are exaggerated stories, not really the truth. Good stuff. All right, now let's see if I can scroll down a little bit here. We can get to question number 2. Oh, I forgot to underline my evidence. Okay, where's that little? Hang on, bear with me. Ooh, okay, cool. So for that, of course, we have sometimes she would exaggerate. Look at this. Oh my goodness, this is so cool. Sometimes she would exaggerate, and then we'll have to bubble this thing in. Oh dear. Oh boy. Oh wow. Okay, hang on. Eh, sorry about that. Hang on. Oh, all right. That's pretty good, right? Right? Come on, cut me some slack. I'm new to this whole thing. Mouse pointer highlighter thingy. What else can we do? What's this? Hi. That's not helpful, and that's just not very. Oh boy. Wait. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Sorry. Question 2. June has a conflict with. What does conflict mean? Do you know? Conflict. I guess that's the problem in this story. There isn't really much of a problem, but who does June have a conflict with? Is it her mother, herself, her teacher, or her brother? Take a moment, think about that one. Well, if you answered A, you're absolutely right. June does have a conflict with her mother. Let's see, let's make this. Can I do blue? It didn't happen quite like that, her mother said. A conflict meaning a disagreement, a problem. The two of them do not see eye to eye. They have different opinions. And in this case, it's all about the storytelling. June is telling some exaggerated wild story, and mom's saying, I don't think so. So it is her mother. The correct answer is A. I'm going to try and bubble this thing. Ooh. Geez. Oh boy. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's pretty good, right? Question number. Oh no, look at this. I've got it on the wrong. Now I've got to erase this. I'm making a mess of everything over here. It's going to take ages to tidy up. Mouse pointer. There we go. Okay. Question. Whoopsies. Now I've gone too far. All right. Here we go. Question number 3. Which two words from the text have the same vowel sound? A, E, I, O, U, A, E, O, A. Is it her and went, lot and loved, come and from, or that and was. Take a moment, think about that one. C. Yep. Come and from. Exactly. Those are the two rhyming words. They have the same vowel sound. All right, question number 4. Which word? Now, obviously, for that one, we don't really have. I suppose we can. No, we can underline this. I can do this. I can do this. Let's do green. Where do your stories come from? There we go. Very nice. And that would be. Hang on. I didn't. How do I? Do I have to do this again? C. Oh boy, I didn't really stay within the lines there, did I? Okay, I'm getting the hang of this. Which word has the root word happen? Is it happy, hap, happened, or open? Take a moment to decide which one you think is the correct answer. Got it? Are you sure? Are you feeling confident? Uh-huh. Well, guess what? It's C. Happened. You have happen and happened. They have the same root word, the root word meaning being happy. No, not happy. Happen. No, I'm reading happy. See, the spotlight thing's throwing me all off. The answer is C. Okay, very good. What about question number? Oh no, I have to bubble that in, don't I? Let's do with the pink. Happened. That's not pink. That's just it's purple. It's kind of a lavender. Anyway, question number 5. What does the phrase wild imagination mean? Wild imagination. Pretending to be an animal, thinking about wild animals, having a good imagination, coming up with lots of ideas, or having little imagination. Which one do you think it is? Go ahead and take a think. C? Yeah, you're absolutely right. It is most certainly C. Yellow for this one? Now, if you do, oh, can you really? You can't really see that that's yellow. I suppose you can. All right. Ugh. Oh my gosh. Okay. I have a wild imagination. That's the evidence that we would underline because that helps us to understand that June has a wild imagination. And of course, she's responding to her mother who's saying, "Where do you come up with this stuff?" And there you have it. Okay. Wait, I'm going to click back here. Now we go on to the second passage. We're doing good. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Hang on. I can do this. Let's do this in red. Uh, yeah, not bad. Ooh, kind of looks like it's flying away, but there we go. Well, not bad from the first time, you know. F. Why are we putting an F there? Because of course we're thinking about the genre. This was fiction. And away we go to this passage number 2. Here we go. The strong man in the circus was amazing to watch. He could lift very heavy things, sometimes with just one hand. The crowd was in awe of his strength. He would lift huge weights as though they were as light as a feather. People wondered how a person got to be so strong. The strong man was definitely one of the best acts of the show. Well, that sounds cool. Let me read that one more time. I kind of want to read it like an old school, like a newscaster, like the strong man of the circus was amazing to watch. Might be a little bit distracting, though, isn't it? I won't do that. The strong man in this, you can do that if you want. That's fine, you know. The strong man in the circus was amazing to watch. He could lift very heavy things, sometimes with just one hand. Bing! The crowd was in awe of his strength. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. He would lift huge weights as though they were as light as a feather. People wondered how a person got to be so strong. Strongman was definitely one of the best acts of the show. Okay, so you've got people, they're attending a circus. Just going to stop and think about this for a second. People are at the circus and they're watching different acts, but one of the best ones was this strong man. And the reason he was so great is because he could lift really, really heavy things and make it look so simple. And then people were really, really impressed. It said that they were in awe, AWE, awe. You don't hear in awe that expression very much, but we say awesome all the time. Oh my gosh, that was so awesome. Oh my gosh, Mr. Scott is like so awesome. He's like the ultimate champion. It's like amazing. Okay. We read it twice. Oh, and this is definitely fiction. Let me see if I can. Where's my little? Get my pen back. Color. My favorite color is green. What's your favorite color? I like that one too, but I love green. It reminds me of plants and grass and springtime, which would be nice. Yeah, a sense of verdancy. Rambling. Okay, so here we go. Spotlight on question number one. Which title would tell a reader more about this text? Is it A, circus, B, the strong man, C, lifting weights, or D, amazing strength? What do you think? Take a moment. Did you say B? Well, if so, you got it right. Congratulations, friends. The strong man in the circus was amazing to watch. That piece of evidence right there tells you exactly the subject of this text. It's all about the strong man. It gives it to you in the first three words. That is a mess. Apologies. Okay, good. We've got our evidence. Let's move on to number two. What is the text about? Being as light as a feather, a crowd pleaser, the strong man's popular circus act, or a crowded circus? What is it? Answer the question. It's C. That's a C. Is that a C? That's a C. Or is that a C? I don't know how this video will work. One of these is a C. Sending some love. All right, so it's C, the strong man's popular circus act. And we've got this. Now, I quite like what they did with this text. This is a really shining example of how well you can use both a topic sentence and a concluding sentence because they basically say the same thing. And that really kind of drives home the point that this author is trying to make. They give it to you in the first sentence, which, of course, as we know with paragraph structure is the most important. And then they say it again at the end to reinforce this point. And they're saying, hey, reader, this is what you were supposed to learn from this. Hey, watch this. Strong Man in the Circus was amazing to watch. Now we'll read. Oh, get the spotlight. And now we can read. Look, the last one. The Strong Man was definitely one of the best acts of the show. Basically saying the same thing. It's a great reminder. So when you're doing your writing with Mr. Gilbert, make sure you've got a great topic sentence and a concluding sentence. Reminds the reader of the point that you're trying to make. All right. Okay. So here we go. We've got C. Yes. Stay within the lines. Stay within the lines. Not bad. It's all right, I guess. Question number three. Question number three. You and me are going to read question three. Which word has the same vowel sound as powder? Well, let's think about what sound we've got there. Pow. Such a great word. Say pow with me. Ready? Three, two. Why am I saying three, two, one, but I'm counting up one, two, three. Three, pow, pow. Ready? Three, two, one. Pow. So good. Powder. Pow, pow, ow. 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 OW says ow in powder. So we're looking for a word that also has that ow sound. Show, awe, how, watch. What is it? Figure it out. How? How did you know? Powder and how. Howder. No. Yes, so OW in both of those words says ow. That's the rhyming word there. We didn't really have any evidence for that necessarily. Let me change up my color. We're going to do this, and we're going to. Yeah, kinda. So, all right, let's just leave that, shall we? Moving right along swiftly. What is question number four? I'm going to read it for you. Actually, why don't we read it together? Are you ready? One, two, three. What is a definition of the word awe? Oh, we talked a little bit about that earlier. Is it fear? Is it admiration? Is it invisible? Or is it hurt? Take a moment. Think about your answer. Answer B. Oh, yes. B is the correct answer. You know it is. Let's go back to red. B, admiration. Admiration, of course, has the root word admire. If you admire something, it means you appreciate it. You think it has value and worth. You see it and you admire a beautiful painting or a sunny day or the smile on a baby's face. You admire it. You can also look up to people. I admire the work that so many people have done. Um, so yes, admire, admiration. That means the same as awe. Awe. Sorry, that got lost in the throat there. Awe. Awe. So let's go back and find that. You will remember, of course, that it's here. The crowd was in. Oh, geez, look at that! I went right through the woods. Sorry about that. The crowd was in awe of his strength. Oh yes, the strong man. I am the strong man. Actually, it'd be better if you had like a lighter voice. I'm the strong man. Question number 5. This is the last one for the strong man. Then we're going to say goodbye bye to the strong man. Which phrase from the text is a simile? Is it amazing watch, as light as a feather, lift huge weights, or one of the best acts? Mark your answer, or just think it through right now. Ready? Go. It's B. Yep, you're absolutely right. It's as light as a feather. Now remember, a simile is going to be comparing two things using as. So here we go. As light as a feather. So there weren't any feathers really involved in this story. It's just an expression, isn't it? As light as a feather. There we go. And then, of course, I can come back up here and then mark my evidence. Where is that sentence? Come on, spotlight, help me out here. As light as a feather, light as a feather, as light as a feather. That's it. That's going to be my next song that I write, as light as a feather. Yeah, find it on iTunes. Okay, so that's that. Groovy. All right, so we thought about the genre, we stopped and thought about it, we read it twice, we found our evidence and underlined it with some very strange squiggly lines. I'll get the hang of it. Don't worry. Don't worry. I can show self-determination. Look, I learned how to use this program, for goodness sake. So now let's move on to this one, the third and final passage for today. Let's see what's happening here. The lumberjacks went to work on the tree. Wow, what a start. Think about that. The lumberjacks went to work on the tree. Goodness, that's an amazing topic sentence. Anywho, they knew that it had to come down today. They got all their tools ready to cut it. It was hard work that required a lot of strength and focus to keep safe. Oh, I haven't used this thing. Look, it's sitting over there doing nothing. The lumberjacks were part of a team that relied on one another. It took many of them working together to bring some of those big trees down safely. Goodness gracious. This was quite the story, eh? Okay. Yeah, well, story it is. It's fiction. I'm sure that real life lumberjacks do this work, but this is telling a story of them having to work together and be safe. I didn't quite get all of it. Let's read it one more time, and then I think we can stop and think and try to remember everything, come up with a really good retell. All right, here it is. The lumberjacks went to work on the tree. They knew that it had to come down today. They got all their tools ready to cut it. It was hard work that required a lot of strength and focus to keep safe. The lumberjacks were part of a team that relied on one another. It took many of them working together to bring some of those big trees down safely. All right, you got a bunch of lumberjacks, a team of lumberjacks, and today they have a very special task. They have to bring down a tree. They have to cut it down for whatever reason, and they have to cut it down safely. And it requires tools, and it requires focus, and it requires effort and strength, and it requires teamwork, and most importantly of all, of course, they need to be able to do it safely. Okay, very good, very good. Let me mark my little F here. Fiction. And I retold the story because I'm a reader who likes to get the answers correct. Who are the main characters in our story? Is it lumberjacks? Is it trees? Is it tools? Or is it strong people? What do you think? Take a moment. Find your answer. A. Yep, you guessed it. Absolutely right. That is correct. We're going to fill in A here, and there's our evidence. The lumberjacks went to work on the tree. Tells you right away. It's kind of similar to the last text where it starts out. The very first words give you the subject of the story, the strong man. Here you've got the lumberjacks. So that's kind of neat. Helps us really understand who the main characters are straight away, straight out of the gate. All right. Question number two. What is the setting? Now, of course, what is the setting? You tell me. The setting of any story is the. That's right. The setting is the where and the when the story takes place. The where it is, where it takes place, and when, what type of day, what year, etc. So, what is the setting? Is it in a lumber mill? Is it in a forest? Is it in a large city? Or is it in a truck? All right, find your answer. What do you think? B. Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course it's B. Are you kidding me? Come on, Mr. Scott. Totally B. Let's go with the green. Why is it B? Well, we know that if you're cutting down a tree, there's going to have to be, it's not going to take place in a truck, is it? So trees are in a forest, and that is where they are taking down the tree. That, of course, we can underline. I have here this. They got ready to cut it. I think they're thinking about that's where the tree is, and it has to be in a forest surrounded by other trees. Very good. On we go. Question number three. Which two? Bleh. I'll try that again. Much better. Which two words have the same vowel sound? Cut and work, got and down, trees and tools, or each and trees? Go ahead and think about your answer, friends. D. D. Yes, sir. D as in dog. Blue. Blue. I like blue. Blue's good. Sky blue. Shirt. Yeah. Yeah. D. Each and trees. Each and trees. Now, I like that we've got the right answer here. We don't really have any evidence for this one because it's asking us about vowel sounds. But you know what I do notice? I do notice this is an EA says E, and then over here we have EE says E. Let's not forget that when you have a long E sound, there are different combinations of letters that can give that vowel sound. EA says E, EE says E. Don't know why I needed to do this with my head. Anyway, question number four is waiting for us. Come here, question four. Let's see what you got. Which word has the same root as. Oh, it's good that they're talking about roots, talking about trees and lumberjacks. Tree, root, get it? Sorry. Apologies. Which word has the same root as relied? Not Miss Rely. That's different. But shout out to Miss Rely because she's awesome. Which word has the same root as relied? Really? Reliable? Ellie? Ellie? Samantha? Or real? Which one is it? Have a think. Take a mo. Well, in order to do this, let's try and find out where that word is. It says the lumberjacks were part of a team that relied on one another. There's the word rely. I'll just circle it 10 million times. Hmm. Anyway, reliable, relied and rely. If you rely on something or someone, then you trust that they will be there to help you. Do you rely on your shoes? Keep your feet dry. That was a strange one. Anyway, reliable. Yes, you will. It's also, it's a good character trait too. A person who is reliable. You want to be trustworthy, someone believable, someone who's honest, very reliable. Hmm. Miss Rely is very reliable. We can all rely on Miss Rely. Ah. So, that's it for that one. Goodbye, number four. Oh, bye, number four. Oh, number four. I'll always keep you in mind. Let's move on. Number 5 says, watch. Really? Watch? Hashtag watch? I just invented a new word. Yeah, watch. It's the sound that you make when you shut your fingers in a drawer. You're like, watch. Which is actually the word that I was trying to read. Look, it's right there. Which. That's the word. Can I? Oh, I wish I could highlight. Oh, I can! Look at that! Oh, I can highlight things. Are you kidding? Wow. Oh, I should have done that before. All right, well, we'll have to do that in tomorrow's video. Cool. Okay. Getting back to the work that we're supposed to be doing, sorry. Which title best fits the text? Title: Lumberjacks coming down a tree in a forest. Larch. Cut down all the trees. Working in a forest. Lumberjack Larry. Oh, that's great. Or my favorite tools. Take a moment. What do you think? What is it? Is it B? Is it B? It's B. Of course it's B. You must be kidding. It's Working in a Forest, of course. That's a great title that perfectly fits this text. Let's go back up. Let's see, what did I mark? I said the last one would be a great uh, piece of evidence to underline. It took many of them working together to bring some of those big trees down safely. That's what they're doing. They're working in the forest. What is the work that they are doing? They're cutting down the trees. That's the work. The lumberjacks are working hard together. Well done, everybody. Okay, whoa, take a look at this. Hang on, why is that? That's Look, this F is pinned. Even as I look, it's staying there. This may be it may be fiction or it may not. Don't quote me on that. All right, exit ticket time. Here's what you need to do next. You're going to read all about Paul Bunyan. Interesting name. Paul Bunyan. Read that, and then you've got these 6 questions to answer. Okay? Do that work, and I will look forward to seeing you tomorrow on the world's greatest YouTube channel ever. Lumberjack Larry. That's great. Lumberjack Larry, the ultimate champion. Hi, I'm Lumberjack Larry. Today we're going to cut down some trees. So from me, Lumberjack Larry, have a wonderful rest of your day. Wash your hands, be good to each other, and read books. Just grab a book and read it. You know, hey, here, book, I'm going to read you now. I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Bye. Bye. Let me see. How do I do this? I think I do this. Okay. All right. See you later. Bye.